Hey, little chonks, welcome back to our second thing I'm doing, Chonk Mouth. Chonk Mouth, is that what I called this? Chonk Mouth? I think so. I think that's what it is. Where I just do these talkies. You may... Sorry, a little cat scurried by real quick and I just wasn't expecting it. You may be wondering, it's Thursday. What are you doing here? Well, fortunately, well, not fortunately. Unfortunately, my friend got sick. The reason I don't stream on specifically only Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are the days I don't stream, is because I have like a weekly thing where I see certain friends on those days. And today, unfortunately, my friend is not feeling well, so we decided to call it off, which means I can stream. So fortunate for you, bad for my friend. They're fine, don't worry. But any hoozles, let's just get into it. I kind of liked what I did with the Chonk Mouth thing before, where I just talk about nonsense things and just whatever. Maybe we'll get in. Maybe we'll do light stuff. I'll start off with doing light stuff. Maybe we'll get into some heavy stuff later. No, but this one I want to talk about movies. I'm like a huge, well, I don't want to say movie buff. I do watch a lot of movies and I have a lot of movies in my library. But yeah, I just love movies. I just really love story, I guess I should say. So obviously movies is going to be one of the best places to get story. But I mean, that's why I like anime, manga, TV shows, all that good stuff. Even games now tend to have, you know, rich storylines, which I am a fan of. Sorry, again, we have Mr. Fan here, just blowing, making my ugly hair blow in the wind. So we're just gonna have to get used to that. But yeah, I thought we'd talk about some movies. I think I put this as bad movies because we'll get into it. But anyways, I want you to see. Maybe I should make sure my mic is on. Yeah, mic is on this time. I made a thing. Check this out. Check what I did. I made a thing. I made another thing. Bum bum bum. The mic has to be really close to me, but that's okay. It's like right in my feet. Like the computer is like on the other side of this, and it just takes up a good like 10% of my screen. But that's okay. We need to have Knife Kitty. Wait. Nope. It needs to go in. Okay. And then there we go. Just a little peeky. Little Knife Kitty. Just to, you know, just to keep the threats. Just to keep the vibes going. Let me turn desktop audio off. Just in case some shenanigans happen. But I guess I don't need my ear things. I always have my ear things in, but I guess I'll just have one. Ooh. That's weird. Because I can hear myself now. I guess I'm much louder than I think I am. Anyways, I made this little thing. I hope it works. The little chat thing right here. Well, chat should pop up here if someone writes. I guess I could write. Oop. No, not I was gonna just say test, but hey, all you little dirty capital chonks. Hey, all you little dirty chonks. All right. Let's see if that pops up. Pop up. There's some delay, or maybe it's not working. Pooh, I did kind of throw this together at the last second, so it might not be working. That's okay. That's fine. Oh no, there it is. Oh, look at that, it fits. Don't like the yellow, that my name's in yellow, but I guess that's because it's me talking. Man, that is a delay. That was like 10 seconds. I don't know if I can change that. I'm sure I can. Regardless, one step at a time. I made a thing, so now we can have the internet's over here, and we can all have a good time. But we're gonna talk about movies because I am a big fan of movies. Actually, just recently, I watched a lot of movies. Like, well, I should say I watch like not the same movies, but at least my library is extensive. So like, even if I have the movie in my library, I may only watch it like once every 2 years or so. But I recently rewatched the entire first Lord of the Rings series, the director's extended cut, so it takes it to like above 3 hours. I think the last one is like 4 hours. And I'll just watch them while I work, like, cause I have two screens, so I can have my screen up here and then I can have my work screen while I'm doing things. Man, it is so good. I forgot. And this will get into my point, but like, I forgot how good the original trilogy Lord of the Rings is. Man, it's good. I mean, the extended version it's nice, but like, I totally agree with all the cuts they made are like, yes, you should have cut those out. Like, definitely They did not need to be in there, and they needed to cut these down. You know, that was back before they like tried to make one thing into 3, so we could get 3 out of it. That was back before that, when, you know, honestly, each book should have been like 2 movies, should have been 6 movies, but this was before the time of that type of nonsensical thinking, you know. Yeah, they're good. The only thing I would say is in the second one, the Two Towers, this last stuff, again, I agree with what they cut out because it's kind of awkward, but they cut out a lot of the like Aragorn's backstory, like, you know, him being hundreds of years old, you know, about his race and all these different things, and like they cut them out. I agree with they cut them out because they're kind of weird, because there's like also the like they cut all those parts simultaneously coincide with like his weird non-romance with the God, I forget her name. Ame, I think it is. She's the one who kills the Witch King and does a lot of cool stuff. I think it's Ame. I'm really bad with names. If you don't know that, you'll learn. I'm terrible with names for whatever reason. But like it's mostly like dialogue between them, so it's like weird and awkward. And since there's not really any romance in the Lord of the Rings, not the movies, not the books, but the movies, so like it's just weird, like they're awkward scenes. Like I understand why they cut them, and I agree with it, but I do wish we still if in like a perfect world, I still would have liked to get a little bit of his you know, a little bit of his lore, because like you're kind of just like, I don't know who this guy, he's a ranger, and I don't know, like I think when the first time I watched it, and I was young obviously when I watched the first time, I just assumed he was a regular human. Like I had no idea, like he was like, they always talked about you're part of the whatever, and I was like, you're just a guy in the woods, I don't know why that's special. But anyways, yeah, they're great. I guess to my point is like I believe, and I don't know if I've said this on here, maybe I have in like past, but like we have just been in like a creative slump for like over a decade, and especially you can see it especially in the movie, shows, and the writing specifically, where we just, you know, we don't write anything new, so no one has any experience to write anything new. We just take old stuff and then try to rewrite it, but they have no skill in rewriting or writing in general, so they obviously can't handle it, so it just becomes a big pile of poop. And I mean, that's kind of the way creativity is. And speaking of like highs and slumps, like any creative will know, there'll be like periods of time where you're just creating. Like for me personally, I think I'm in a period of just pure creating where I'm running like 3 channels. I'm going to do something on the art channel soon. But where I'm just constantly producing and just making and getting better and better and better. But you have those lulls. You have those lulls where it's just like, it's just creativity's a finite resource, and I don't know. I just feel we've been in a creative slump for the past decade, where not like there's been a handful of good movies, but just a handful. And again, I've said this before, but I will reiterate this. When I say a movie is good, I dissociate my personal feelings versus objective evaluations of story, of telling story through through visual mediums. And as people are like, well, it's subjective, and it's like, no, no, it's not. We have over like 100 years of people much smarter than all of us breaking down, distilling, observing, experimenting, and fundamentally creating or visualizing in a way that we can see what people respond to and why, as being creatures that love story. Just look at America. We love narratives more than we love the truth. So we are creatures of story. And so many people have studied this, again, way smarter than any of us will probably ever hope to be. And they made a way so that we can accurately judge things. And so that's what I mean. I'm using those judgments, not my own, because there are plenty of movies and shows that are objectively bad, but I love. There are many. So, and vice versa. There are not as many, but there are some things that are objectively good that I just don't enjoy at all. Like, I do not like, but I can still recognize, like, I'm not going to watch them again, but I can still recognize, like, oh no, this is objectively good. I just don't like it. So when I say that, I dissociate, which is a thing that people just cannot do for whatever reason. They're like, I like it, therefore it's good. It's like, that's not how things are. Even if a lot of people like something, that's not how that works. Because you could take anything like, maybe let's go back in time to Germany circa 1930-ish. And there was something that everybody was really enjoyed and was really all about. There was a movement that was quite popular. Didn't make it good. And it's the same thing with this. Just because something like makes a lot, especially nowadays, something that makes a lot of money doesn't rarely if ever shows the quality of it. Or if something is like super popular, everyone likes it, again, doesn't make it good. What makes it doesn't mean it's not successful, but there's a difference between being successful and being good. There's a lot of things that are bad that are very successful. I don't think you can just open your eyes and see a whole bunch of things that are bad and you're like, how is this successful? And like, good marketing. That's why marketing is a thing. And there are plenty of things that are really good that nobody knows about because bad marketing. But anywho, that was my big blurb before we get into this, because like, man, I haven't, even though like I said, I like to watch movies, I will go in lulls and dips. I'm always so busy that my movie watching has to be, unless it's watching movies I have on my, extensive library. It's I don't know why I keep saying extensive. You should be proud. My library, it's quite large. It's quite large. No, but if it's on my library, like watching new movies, I will, but they have to be like spontaneous. I think like the last movie that I watched was The Northman. Here, let me pull something up so we can have visuals. See, look, visuals. Let's see. The Norseman. I hope nothing bad pops up. There was some graphic stuff in this. I'm gonna risk it. Click images. Okay. Just hope, like, the boobas didn't pop up. But, yeah, this was the last movie I saw. And it was literally, like, I think... Because I like to watch a lot of review channels of things. Especially since I don't have time to watch a lot of movies, so I will I have like various people from various different walks of life and who do different things. And I don't always agree with all of them on their points, as obviously you shouldn't really agree with someone 100%. That's just weird. Yeah, so I think one of the guys I was watching, he does a good job, and there's other people who also do this, but they'll give like a review without spoiling anything, which I really like, because then I can hear the review and be like, after hearing like a couple people do the little blurb reviews, before they actually get into it, then I can be like, am I gonna care to see this, for the surprise or not? And this was one of the movies that a lot of people said they're like, it was really good. And so I think I saw a couple, like, again, beginning reviews, and then was like, I think it was like at an hour later, I was in the theater watching it. Like, that's how spontaneous, because I live relatively close to a movie theater, like 10 minutes away, and it's one of the good ones that has like not like the super good ones, but like the medium good ones that has like the seating that reclines and the big chairs, and it's all marked out. So I went to go see it, and yeah, it was good. Like the lower threshold of good, I guess I would say. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting, and I think that was one of the main points. Like, it's not like a big bloody like action. It's really like a slow burn revenge, a bit of a horror. And again, I don't want to give too much away because this is a relatively newer. If it's a relatively newer movie, I won't really talk too much about it. But it was okay. It was a little slow and it dragged on in parts. I heard it was, I don't know, I'll have to trust the historians, but they say it was historically like pretty accurate for the times of what we know, how much we actually know. Acting was great. I really liked, it was kind of like a fever. It's kind of like it ends up being more like a fever dream where it's just, you at certain points you can't tell what's really happening and what's not. And that was interesting, and it made it interesting visually. But yeah, I think one of the things that sold me was the same guy who directed this. He's the director of The Lighthouse, which I've talked about with Willem Dafoe and Patterson. That's a good movie. And so that's basically what sold me on it. And it was good. It's not as good as Lighthouse, but it was definitely interesting. I don't know if I needed to see it in theater, but I'm sure it would be less impactful if I didn't see it in theater. So, but yeah, it's a good movie. You know, it's a movie about like growing up and the difference between seeing things as a child versus adult. There's a lot of themes running through it, and yeah, it's just a solid movie, I guess. Not like super great, but definitely way better than the sludge that has been turning out. And I think was the most recent movie. What I usually do, I will usually look up like movie releases, which I'm going to do now, and I will often look up like DVD releases, because I have no idea else to say that, but when they're like out, so I can find them, you know, wherever they're being streamed. Just to remind me, because there's so many movies out, like, and they're just being made, you know, they're just being made, you know, everywhere, from like Netflix to all the other streaming devices. And sometimes you don't even know, like, maybe I'll see one trailer. Like, there's a couple of movies that I want to see and I have no idea where they are. I guess I could look up now. Well, I don't know their names. There's the one that's like touchy. They're both dark comedies. One's about how do I say this? Two guys who are going to, you know, themselves, and they decide to like have like a romp before it's a dark comedy, like I said, before they, you know, end each other. It looked really funny, looked really dark, but it looked really funny, and it's more like an indie film. And then there was another also dark comedy. I had a name that I really didn't feel like fit it, but I can't remember it. But it was about, it's about the police, not about the police, but the police are a big part of it. It's about these two guys who are in college, and one of them's like a really smart guy who's like going off on, you know, he's going to do big things. Another guy's kind of like a partier guy, and he's smart, but he's there, and so he wants to show him a good time. And so you think it's going to be like them like haha going out and having a party, but the thing before it even starts, they like they come back to their dorm, and they have another guy, and a point of this, they're the smart guy and the party guy, who are, I think, might be related. They might be cousins, or maybe not, or maybe there was like a trailer, I think maybe he was talking to his cousin, like he knew his cousin and that's how they knew each other, maybe. Regardless of the point, they're both black, and then their roommate, I think, is Hispanic. And so when they come back because they come back to the dorms before they're gonna go out and party, there's like a passed out white girl, and so the whole thing is like them trying to get her somewhere safe without calling the police, because, you know, they call the police, there's a passed out white girl amongst, you know, two black men and a Hispanic, bad things are gonna happen. And so that's the whole, again, a dark comedy, but it looked funny. You know, it looked interesting. I forget what it's called. It's called something like Emergencies or something that didn't quite fit the tone, but there's a couple other movies. Maybe we'll find it on the list. But this is how I find out what movies. Now I'll like remember to do this every now and then, so I'll kind of like binge movies, where I'll do this, you know, a couple months will go by and I'll be like, oh yeah, there's some movies I need to watch, so I'll just like write them down. So that's what we're gonna do here. Just fun, light. We'll get my opinion on things. Maybe we'll see some movies that I did see that I just can't even remember, because a lot of movies I see are new movies are not worth remembering. I have not added a new movie to my extensive library in a long time. Yeah. I have not added a new movie to it. Let's see, what's a movie really, not 21, let's just do in general. Now I forget where I go. It's not IMDb, because they just do like a freaking, like, I don't want to see a list, I want to see pictures. Is it Metacritic? I don't like Metacritic, but I think they do the picture. Yeah, they do the pictures, so we're gonna go with them. Okay, let me move. Get out of here, I don't want none of that. Is you gonna be there? Yep. Oh, I can see the little X right there. You're gonna see all the ads. I mean, I don't know what's allowed and what's not. I don't foresee this being a problem, but we'll go ahead with it. I have water. I'm gonna need water for these chonk mouth talks. All right, Lightyear. I saw a news thing and I didn't read it, but this got like poor reviews. 61. But there may have been review bombing. There's so many like stupid nonsense in movies. So I don't know. I mean, it looked interesting. Of live action. A more realistic animation of Buzz Lightyear is kind of weird. Can't wait to see Buzz's plump cheeks. But I mean, who knows? I might watch it. I'm definitely not gonna go see it in the theaters, that's for sure. But yeah, this will give all like these crazy movies that you probably never even heard of. I'm not gonna look into too much. I'm just gonna kind of brush through. This looked interesting. Brian and Charles. I don't think I can show trailers because you know, you'll get copyright claimed or whatever, possibly striked. But I don't know. I'm doing a commentary, so it really doesn't fall into that. But I mean, maybe if I don't show the whole trailer. But I mean, you think they'd want to show the trailer, but I've noticed, at least watching other YouTubers who will talk about stuff, they seem to only get struck when they say something bad about the movie. So, you know, just easily abusing YouTube's rules, because that's it. But anyways, let me see what happens when I click on this. Oh, they do have their... Oh, okay. No one playing... Oh, well, that's the thing. It's like an indie movie where this guy, he builds a robot. It's a joke. It's a joke movie. He builds this robot, and it's about, like, learning about being a human and a whole bunch of other things. But, yeah, I won't... Trailer's funny. Trailer's funny. That's one of them. I should write these down, or, like... I should write these down. I'll use a Photoshop. I'll just... You know, that's not a great thing. Oh no, don't look. You'll see my latest projects. You can see all the things that I pull into this while I'm making things. Let's just do... Don't look. Okay, I know how to use Photoshop. I use it all the time. You can see the last font that I used. Let's get rid of that. I'm doing this for me, not for you. But this is definitely one of the movies that I want to see. Or at least make some time for. I'm gonna make this a lot smaller. Oops. That's not what I need to do. Okay. I don't think I'll find too many movies that I want to see, so I don't think I need to make an extensive, huge list. But that was one of them. Again, there's going to be so many movies from, like, random things. And the only time I watch random movies like that, like, if I haven't seen a trailer for anything, the only time I watch random movies is, like, you know, just, you know, scrolling through Netflix or whatever, and I just need something in the background while I'm doing, like, my art or something. Sorry, I normally put my hair that way, but because of the fan, I can't do that, so it's weird brushing it the opposite direction. It feels weird on my scalp. Nope, haven't heard of any of these. Man of Integrity, Mid-Century, nope. What? Nope. Elvis, that movie. I don't know, these biopics, I don't know, especially the story of Elvis. Like, yeah, how many stories about Elvis are we gonna do? You know, I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's fine. It's got Tom Hanks in it. He's in it. Apples. Oh, I do want to see. I remember I saw like a little trailer for this a long time ago, and I wanted to see it. But like I guess it's coming out soon. But they've been pushing hard on this. Like advertising wise, like way harder than I would think. Oops, wrong one. That a budget, because I assume this would be like a lower budget movie. I think it's just done in the style of lower budget movies, because the budget that they put for advertising is ridiculous. How many like random YouTubers that I watch are like they're not like I mean, they are sponsored by them, but they're not just doing, oh, this is sponsored by, they like literally paid for various random creators, like smaller ones too, to curate a video curated to that movie. And which is like, you don't do that unless you have a lot of money. You know what I mean? You don't go to like small time YouTubers in all sections, like my gaming one, obviously movie review one that makes sense, but like in a couple ones that are about gaming and like other ones who do other things like Ghost Story. I mean, Ghost Stories I guess makes sense, but just, you know, they're not big. So, well, some of them are big, but it probably costs a lot of money to do that. So they obviously had the money, but it does look interesting. It's like the idea of like a horror murder mixed with like supernatural, but the supernatural is good. That's an interesting. If you don't know what this is, if you haven't seen the trailers, which I assume you have, because like I said, it's been everywhere. Oh, look, a nice ass. Uncensored sports photos. Woo. Nice. You love to see it. But yeah, if you don't know, it's like this kid, he gets kidnapped by this guy who's, you know, that type of guy. You know, he's quirky. But then while he's in there, there's like a black phone that's not connected, but then he starts getting calls from like his previous victims, and they kind of help him how to get out. So you're like, is this real? Is this not? They're like giving him information. How does he know this? Is he just using this as a coping mechanism? We won't know until we watch the movie. But interesting. I like to see it. Interesting coming out during summer. But I guess a lot of people go to the movies during this. Well, they used to. I'm sure. I don't know if we're going to return to that. But Black Phone is definitely one of the ones I want to saw. Murder at Yellowstone City. TBD. Okay. See, I like this because they're giving ones that aren't even like, you know, really obscure stuff. Oh, God. Can we not do Minions? Can we never do Minions again? I don't know why people like them. I don't understand it. They're not cute. They're not funny. It's just horrible. And granted, I haven't seen one of the movies that's just Minions, so I can't say if they're bad. I'm just telling you, I personally do not like them, but can't speak to the movies. Never seen them, so see what I did there? I disassociated my hate for them with saying the movies are bad, because I don't know if they're bad. It could be good. Who knows? I could be missing out on my prejudice of Minion people. Oh God, Thor, Love and Thunder. TBD, really? Oh, TBD means the rating. I'm an idiot. The date's right here. Here's the thing. The Marvel movies, you know, the first 10 years, pretty good. Some bad ones in there, obviously. 10 years of doing movies, you're going to have some bad apples. Just the way it is. But overall, really impressive what Marvel and Disney, for their own credit, what they did creating, you know, the cinematic universe. Never been done before. Big thing. You did a new thing, and you did it pretty damn good. Everyone was happy at the end. The problem is, they just want to keep going, and nobody wants them to. They just want to keep going, and they've kind of just fallen into this like really crappy formulaic method where, you know, it's just all formula. Like there's no real creativity in it. And then you couple in bad writers, which it's just Disney's just been, I don't know who's hiring these writers, but man, you might want to look if you. I swear, all these movies and stuff, like shows, especially the shows that are coming out of Disney, it's like it reminds me back when I was in high school, and like beginning writers who don't know really what they're doing. They just kind of think they know what they're doing, and they just kind of go off what they've seen, and they just don't have the refinement or experience to write something good. That's what this reminds me of. I'm like, are you hiring high schoolers to do this? But then I realized, I'm like, that's kind of insulting to high schoolers. Like maybe we should hire high schoolers. I'm sure it would be improvement. But I know like Thunder, you know, Thor will get a little more leeway because Taiko's in control relatively. It's kind of like a James Gunn where he gets a little bit more freedom. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's going to be fluff. I think it'll be entertaining to a point, but it's going to be bad. I'm pretty sure it's going to be bad writing. Maybe not. I mean, it depends on who's writing this. Because Taika Waititi is a good writer, but I think his writing skill sets really lie in like I don't want to keep saying indie movies, but like those like personal, off the cusp type movies, like he did, you know, the Jojo Rabbit. I mean, anyone who could make a movie with the mustachioed man as a goofy character and for it to be so good is clearly talented. It's kind of like what's his name? God, he's the guy who did the new Star Wars, the second one in the new one. Gosh, what is his name? People don't like him because he did a terrible job, but he wrote Knives Out. Gosh, forget his name. I'm bad with names. He wrote Knives Out, and it's like, again, good writer, but not in these big blockbuster movies, clearly. But like Knives Out is probably one of the best movies to come out in the past 20 years, easily. And so clearly he knows how to write and direct. But you just got to find your wheelhouse. It's not, you know, not everything's going to be your thing. Just because you can direct one thing doesn't mean you can direct another. And that's just how it is. But, so I don't know who's writing this. Did they say director? They don't say the writer. Life After the Big Bang Theory. But yeah, so I think it's probably just going to be fluff. Just movie fluff, which is fine. Movie fluff is fine. I'd rather have movie fluff than like I'd rather have a hi boy. No, I don't want you on my lap because you're warm. You're warm and you're hot. I don't like it. He's right by me. I'm not gonna lift him up. There's too many wires. If he jumps on me, I may lift him up. You gonna hurt me? He's thinking about it. He's gonna jump up and it's gonna hurt. So I'm gonna keep my arm up. I'm just gonna pose for you. But yeah, I don't know. Again, like I was saying, I'd rather have a fun movie that's bad than a not fun movie that is also bad. You know what I mean? Which is Disney's and Marvel's MO these days, these past years, of just movies that aren't fun, aren't entertaining, and then they're just so poorly written on top of it. It's like, why are we here? So I'm a little iffy. I don't know if I'll see that in theaters, honestly. I don't know. Maybe if some friend wants to see it, I'll go with them, but I doubt it because I'm the only one who really, in my friend groups, I'm the really only one who likes movies that much and goes to movies. So, yeah, I often go like the, oop, there he is. All right, well, I said I'd pick him up. Pick him up for a second. There he is. He's real, see? A real boy. He's a real boy. No, put your butt down. No, if you're going to be on my lap, you're going to play by my rules. The heck is that? You're going to play by my rules. Play by my rules, boy. Look what you did. I have kitties all askew. Got him. Yeah, I'll often see movies by myself all the time. Just because, like, my friends kind of live semi-far away. So, not too far. But not like I said, I go spontaneously. So, like, you know, that movie where I just decided to go see it an hour. They're not going to drive, 30 minutes down here to go see a movie. Especially since a lot of them are like, they really choose the movies they go to see. And so I usually just go to the movies by myself, which is actually nice. I actually enjoy seeing movies by myself because I can go in, I bring a little booze, I sneak it in, I put it in my drink, sit back in my chair all by myself with no one around me, and I just enjoy the movie and I get to hang out. And actually, so like it has become one of the things that I like to do, honestly, by myself. I don't mind going to the movies with other people, but I do enjoy going by myself a lot. It's the theater though. Like I said, I have a nice theater around me, so that helps. The Deer King, never heard of it. Oh, Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. That looks like a winner. That looks quality. The Gray Man. Sorry, the boy was alerted to something. I saw this. I saw a preview for this because who's doing this? Is it Netflix? I don't think it's going to be like a crazy good movie. It just looked really fun. So it has, as you can see, it has Ryan Gosling. I don't care. But it has Chris Evans as the bad guy. And I always love when Chris Evans is a bad guy. I think Chris Evans he played Captain America great. But I think he plays the villain much better. And so it's about, if you don't know, These two always plays a great villain. He was a villain in, well, never mind. I was gonna say something, but that would give away a good movie. Even though it's an old movie, I still don't want to give away because it's such a good movie. But he's played a good villain before. So that is definitely on the list. What do we got? Nope. Oh, yeah, that's the new Jordan Peele movies. This one is interesting. I like Aliens because I think people underestimate how like scary Alien. I think like the concept of it because we've gotten so used to like this sci-fi version of Aliens where it's like space aliens, clearly they're there and like we do a thing, but like when you really think about it, I didn't think about it too until one of my friends like explained like how like the Greys are like the scariest thing to her and like that whole concept of it like freaks her out. And I was like, that is a scary. And there was that one movie, what was it called? I forget what it's called. It's a horror movie, a scary movie, but it like it first plays out, it's like a family in a house and there's like a little boy who has like a friend. So it plays out like your typical like ghost haunted house or demon, movie, where they've got kids, he's getting visitors, strange things are happening, stacking is happening in the house, they come downstairs, the chairs are stacked, poltergeist nonsense. But then it like flips halfway through and it's just like, this is aliens, and they come, and so it becomes this horrifying thing where the family realizes that, and they realize there's nothing because they can't go to the cops. What the cops gonna do? So they try their best, and they realize like children have been disappearing in this town that they're in all the time. So they're like, oh, they're coming after our child, and so they do their best to protect them, and it's just like this horrifying thing where you're going up against, again, kind of like the scary supernatural thing where it's something you don't understand, but worse, you're going after like a sentient being whose technology is so far advanced, there's nothing they can really do to stop them. And that's I didn't realize how horrifying that thought was until it was put in my head. Like, it'd be like, imagining, what happens now, like if a capuchin monkey was going up against humans that could just show up in their car or just show up at any point and just, with their guns and technology and, whatever, do whatever they want to them. And like being in that situation as a human being and having the knowledge to understand that is like, it was very terrifying. Good movie. Can't remember its name. They had like a famous, their trailer were like birds, like a boy. Sorry. He like on my desk, you can walk underneath like my computer screen and go to like, there's a window right over there. And I have like, it's actually like an old hollowed out radio from like the 1950s, like it's hollowed out completely, but it's as a pedestal for him to see out the window. So he walks underneath, he just steps on my keys and my mouse, that's why it went down. But anyways, good movie. Aliens. Jordan Peele, his movies are always like, I don't know, his first one, Get Out, I would say was a lot better than the second movie. I can't even remember its name. The Others. I almost said Among Us. Was it something like The Others or Us? Oh, I think it was Us. I think that's what was it. Us? Something like that. You know what it is. It had the people in the red jumpsuits and like there was alternate copies of them. His movies are like almost there. I would definitely say Get Out is a good movie. It's a good horror movie. I think the problem, which was way more emphasized in his second movie, is that Peele will often, he has a theme. He has a clear theme that he wants to go with, but he puts that above like rational logic, and you can't do that. You can't do that because then the rational logic of your story is your base, and then you can have your theme, and then you can have your message, and that can be tied into your theme. Great movies are like that. You don't necessarily need theme and message to have a great movie, but you definitely need that base to be solid, because without it, everything just crumbles. And I would say he was more reined in his first movie, where obviously the themes in that very interesting, but the world didn't make, it made sense to a point, but it was a little like, it wasn't, the world didn't make not enough sense that it wasn't like egregious. Like, if you don't know, I mean, I think I could spoil it. It's this old. The whole thing is that, you know, black guy starts dating a white woman, and then she takes him back to meet, you know, her family, because they're getting serious. And the reason I bring up race is because the whole thing is based around racism. And there's huge themes. I'm just gonna give you a slight thing, because like I said, Jordan Peele's thing is themes, and I like his themes. I think he's got really powerful themes, and he does good things with that, but sometimes he forgets about the foundation of his story. And but anyways, so he takes the parents, but it's really just like this big auction where the family has found a way to imprint the souls of, you know, people into other people. And so what they're doing is taking like old white people and implanting them into younger black people, because in the narrative, like, nobody cares when a black person disappears, you know, the whole like horribleness of our society and that truth being there. But the thing, again, this is like a small thing, but like, and there's another ones, but I guess like the main thing would be like, if they had that power, and if they were like the people in there were really racist, and like, but like the way that's like hidden racist, you know, where it's just like backhanded, and like, you're like, I'm not overtly, and you know, but it's like, and I think in that narrative, like, my main thing was like, if they were so racist, why would they choose people that they feel are inferior to them to, you know, jump bodies into? Because if your whole thing was like, you know, again, he wanted to make a comment on like, nobody cares when black people disappear in our society, but in a logical world, if they were racist, they would probably just do it to poor white people. There's a lot of poor white people who nobody cares disappear as well, and so it would make more sense that people who are so racist, when they jumped into a new body, they would want someone who is white, you know, to continue on their racistness and you know, be honestly better off in our society, that system that does favor white people. So that was the only not world breaking, but kind of, there was other smaller things, but again, that was so small that I felt like it didn't get in the way of this story. It doesn't make sense, granted, but it's small. You can get away with things through a point, and that's the part of like experimenting and, you know, avant-garde type things, is to do that. But in this next movie, which I think it's Us. Let's see. Us movie? Yes, it is Us. Yeah. So Us. That's why I thought of Among Us. Among Us. In this one, the theme just took over, and there was no room for logic in any of it. But that being said, I feel like this movie, as far as like editing really stand out. There was not a single shot in this that was not purposeful or intentional and didn't have a payoff in the end. Like, you know, the whole Chekhov's gun, you know, don't show anything, you know, don't set the gun if you're not ready to fire it, because people will remember that. Even if they don't understand, they will remember that, and then they will have a negative association with your stuff. Also, you don't want to waste people's time. You have a movie is a short time span to get a full story, beginning, middle, and end, and it's very difficult. But this was masterfully done in that. The acting was ridiculous. The main, what's her name? She showed up here. Lupita, like, seeing her go from like, you know, the scared, because everyone had to play two roles. Seeing her go from like the scared, you know, person to like the psychopath, changing her voice, the movements, crazy. Like, I mean, as much as I love the editing and all this stuff, like, she's probably the best thing in that movie, like, by far, just on pure acting. Winston, also great, did a great job. Like, they really cared. Like, the kids are kids, so like, you know, give them a pass. They did fine, but they didn't do bad, but they did fine. But yeah, the two standouts were their acting. Man, did it shine. But yeah, the problem is that the theme was good. The problem is that it made no sense in any way logically. That, like, you know, the whole thing, again, I feel like this movie's old enough so I can, you know, talk about it. Spoilers. You know, the whole thing is that the government had a plan to control people by making clones of everyone, and then they can control their clones, and that way they can control people. Again, I know it has a bigger message about themes and, you know, talking about our society. I get that. But you still, as a narrative, you still need to be rooted in the reality that you set your story in. So, like, there can be stuff, like, there could be, you know, magic or whatever, as long as you set that as your base. But whatever the base is set, your story has to fit within that reality. And this is set in just regular times, so regular rules apply. Now, we grant the whole thing of being able to clone, fine. But it's like, why would the government clone everyone just to be like, oh, it doesn't really work, and scrap it? Why wouldn't they just clone like 10 people? Where do they get the money for this? How did they build all these underground things where no one could see it? And then why would they attach it to things like an amusement park? Why did they just leave all the people down? Why did they just execute them? How did controlling them work when people like traveled across different... It doesn't make any sense. And so you kind of just... that was too much. As far as the other one, like I gave my examples of the other one, it was just like one where there's just like, there's one main thing, but then the rest are kind of small. Fine. But when there's so many and they're so crucial to the whole story, it just ruins it. It just kind of ruined them. So yeah, unfortunately, because it sucks because there's so many good things in this movie, but the core of it just fell apart. And so, getting back to Nope, I'm really hopeful for it. It looks really good in the trailer. I'm gonna see it, obviously, because like I said, Peele's movies are just brimming with talent. They're just not refined. You know, and you could say, like, you know, a lot of people are like, well, he's just trying, you know, being avant-garde, but I think people get confused of like what avant-garde is. Avant-garde is when you know the rules so well that you're able to experiment with bending them or breaking them, and I don't think that's what happened here. I think this is just negligent. This is not negligence, is a harsh word. These are just theme being put over cohesive narrative. And so I'm hoping that Nope won't be, because it would be really great if he could take, you know, the solidness for the most part of his first movie and the crazy themes, editing, acting, and all that stuff, and just combine them, and then it would be a phenomenal movie. So I'm holding out hope for Nope. So let's put Nope. I think I can spell Nope, so Nope. I definitely want to see that. I like putting Nope. I like it's nice. So let's hope that theme doesn't you know, overtake just a basic cohesive narrative. Let's hope. DC Legend Super Pets, nice. You gotta love it. Bullet Train. I like how they put stand-up. That I see. This is the list I want with just everything. Beast. Oh my gosh, have you seen that? If you haven't seen this, oh no, they don't have a trailer for this. That's interesting because there's a trailer out. I've seen it multiple times on YouTube, as part of like an ad. I didn't like watch it multiple times, but it's basically Jaws on land. But Jaws in this case is a man-eating lion who's gone rogue. As you can see, we got Alba here, and he's the leading man. Dude, man, Alba's he's a sexy man. But I just don't think it works because I think it doesn't. Jaws on land doesn't really work because I mean you had Cujo, which is this kind of devolves into that a little bit. There's scenes where they're trapped on their car and other stuff happens, but the reason that this doesn't work is kind of like the same stupid reason for like zombies. Like when you see zombie movies, like The Walking Dead was notorious for this, where like they would just be walking through the woods and all of a sudden there'd be like zombies on them, and it was like, how? You can see, like, just because they're off screen doesn't mean they don't exist, but that's how it exists. Like they would be walking through woods where you could clearly, if you've ever been just existed, you can see everything. It's really hard for something to sneak up on you. And so it's just dumb. And so like this kind of has the same energy where it's like, it's a lion on land, formidable, but you could see it. The only way this would work is if it's mostly set at night, which it didn't look like that from the trailer. There are some scenes in the night, but the reason Jaws is so terrifying is because the ocean is terrifying, where you cannot see something until it's on you, until it's right in front of you. Nature of the ocean. And so that's what makes Jaws so terrifying. You don't know where it is until, it's chomping on your butt. And that's what made Jaws truly terrifying. And this just isn't going to be the same. It's just not going to be the same, because you can see a line coming from a distance. But unless it was set at night, that could have been interesting. A whole movie just taking place over one night, that would have been interesting. But they didn't do that. So I don't know. I just don't. Oh shoot. Okay. I thought it was going to put me back at the top. I just don't think it's going to work. But action movie, pow pow pow, lion. After 1,000 years of longing, and then all these movies that don't even bros. Vesper, little crocodile. Halloween ends. Evil dies tonight? Are you sure? So tired of Halloween movies. I mean, the last Halloween movie, The Evil Dies Tonight, that movie was... for the most part, liked it, but it's not a good movie. It was more of a... if you're not a fan of Halloween, if you're just coming out... That movie was probably terrible to you. Because it's more of just a love letter to fans. It's really just a long love letter to fans. There's no real, cohesive storyline or plot. It's just nonsense. But it gave us Evil Dies Tonight. So, I'm happy about that. But yeah, that's one of those things. That's one of the movies that was this is a bad movie, but I do like it. Black Adam. I've heard a lot of people say that we're just fatigued of superhero movies. And I'm not fatigued of superhero movies. I already touched on it, but I'm fatigued of Marvel superhero movies. Because they're all the same. And like I said, they've fallen into the formulaic nonsense, void of creativity. And there's a lot of other types of superhero stories. Which is what should have been Morbius. Morbin Time, the best movie ever. Time to Morb, I think so. They did give us the meme, so maybe it was kind of worth it. But that was supposed to be a dark, messed up story, and it just wasn't. I heard they're redoing Blade. It's no, don't. Blade. Actually, the Blade movies are okay. The first one, the second one's okay. Obviously the graphics aren't there, but that was before CGI was really even a big thing, so we can't really fault them for that. But I think the one with Wesley Snipes, that's good. It's gory. It's not meant for children. It's a Marvel movie, but it looks nothing like any Marvel movie you'll see today, and that's a good thing. And I think there's a lot of stories like it, not just dark and blood and guts, which there's a lot of, which I think people would enjoy, but there's a lot of other types of stories. They're not all happy, ha 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 ha, superhero and spandex fun times, There's a lot of different Marvel stuff that are hero stories, not necessarily superhero stories. And I just don't want Disney's Marvel to touch them, because they're just garbage. But Black Adam is, not Marvel, but I feel like what I watched, first of all, I love Dwayne. I love The Rock. Love him who he is, but he's himself in every movie, and it just doesn't work with every movie. Some movies it does. Funny romps, all good. But I don't know. What was one of the movies I saw? He's been in tons, but I think the last movie I saw him in was The Jungle Cruise, and there's a lot of things wrong with that movie, but he was one of them. And I don't know, him being Black Adam, I guess he'll be more of a serious character, but I just can't see him being... I've only seen him being himself. And he's just a fun, lovable guy. And, that's great. We need more fun, lovable guys in the world. But, yeah, I don't know, Black Adam, I just don't see this being good in any way. Definitely, hey, insane portable AC hits market. A cooler with the fan on it. I thought people are learning how simple physics works. Oh, did you know? Ancient societies figured this out. Anyways, it's neither here nor there. The policeman. Ooh. Oh, am I going... Oh, I'm going further in the year. Can I go back? Oh, I guess they won't... I guess I could do in theaters. Okay, we'll go a little bit further, and then we'll go back in time. Back in time. Black Panther, Wakanda. I don't know how they're gonna do this, you know, with, you know, Chadwick Boseman not being around. I don't know. You can, but I just feel like it's just not gonna be there. You know, he really made a lot of that movie, and it's just gonna be rough without him, you know. And the first Black Panther movie was okay. It wasn't great. I really liked the villains, and I think the villains stood out like crazy. They way more than the heroes, and the side characters too as well stood out way more. But it just devolved into a pointless CGI battle in the end, which is never a good way to end a movie. So, but I don't know. I just don't have really much hope. Strange World, really doing Strange World. Okay. Another Avatar. Don't know why they need to make this. It's Puss in Boots. Hell yeah. Megan. A robotic engineer at a toy company builds a lifelike doll that begins to take life of its own. Horrifying. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Another John Wick movie. Aquaman. Guardians of the Galaxy. Spider-Man Across. Now, the Spider-Man movie that came out was good. It was really good. You know, not just like they really did a lot for the fans. Actually, listening to the fans for once. What a concept. Too bad they didn't listen for Morbius, huh? But I don't know. There's so much Spider-Man. I know he's like the biggest selling IP, but kind of just get burned. I'm not burned out of superhero movies. I am burned out of Spider-Man. I'll say that. Not so much. The Flash, maybe. Who knows how well that's going with old Ezra out here doing. That's gonna be an interesting. I think I'm gonna do a video about Ezra soon. It's that bad. When it gets that bad, you know. On my other channel, if you don't know, which you should subscribe to, my Chonky PuFFs channel, I basically, in a way, make fun of things that are just not great. And I go for low-hanging fruit. So you really have to be not doing good stuff for me to make a video on you. And old Ezra has hit that threshold, I'm afraid. Indiana Jones 5, that's... Oh, the Marvels, again, another movie. Doesn't... Blue Beetle. Again, I would be excited, but... Because Blue Beetle would be awesome. But not in the hands of Disney. Current Disney and Marvel. Not in their hands. The second part of Dune, we can actually see a movie. I liked Dune. I think it's questionable. I think it's debatable whether or not the first Dune is a good movie. I think it's very debatable. I enjoyed it, and I am over the moon that I saw it in theaters. I think if you didn't see it in theaters, you will never experience the way it's supposed to be made. And that, like, all movies say that because once you get to theaters. No, this is one that is actually truthful. Sorry, I hit the microphone. But it's kind of, if we're going by the rules, first Dune is really not a good movie. It's not a good movie because of its structure, where it takes like an hour for it to even start. I know they got a lot of explain, and they kind of make up for it for just beautiful scenery and a lot of bombs with the music. It's great. You feel tense and unsettled the whole time, which is the point of the movie. It's the music really was great in the theaters. That being said, you can't wait an hour for your movie to start. You can't. You just can't. And it doesn't really start. Like, there's the inciting incident of a movie, which you don't know. A movie usually starts once the inciting incident happens. This can be various things. In the movie Dune, which, again, I feel like it's been out for a little bit, so I'm gonna... And it was a fairly popular movie, so I'm just gonna go out and say it. But the inciting incident is when the attack happens. When the, the main family gets attacked by the previous owners of the planet, and that's the inciting incident. That happens like an hour in, or over an hour. Not good. Not good. I will say though, one of the good things they really did was there's a lot of exposition and a need for explaining because the world is so complicated. But it makes sense. One thing, writers, make note, you need to make your world make sense. But they do exposition really well. As far as not just a lot of movies just do the talking disembodied voice in the beginning of the movie that explains everything to you. Don't do that. It only is necessary in very rare instances, and it's usually not done good. It's usually just don't start a movie off like that. But this gives you all the information very organically, which is what you want to do, but they just took an hour to do it, which you don't want to do. And then yeah, there was no real like meaningful, like the movie just it's not a Dune, the first part. It's not a completed movie. It's not a completed movie. Because it just ends. It just ends abruptly. And they try to like put the the whole fight, the knife fight at the end as like the climax or like the finishing point of the movie, and it just falls flat because there's no real emotional stakes. There's no stakes in it. He's just fighting some random guy that he just met. And now they try to make the whole thing like, oh, he's never killed a man before, and that's a big thing. But it's like they just kind of blurt that out while it's happening. It wasn't like a theme that was built up, throughout the movie. Much better would there have been. They should have made, should have incorporated some type of villain to defeat, not a big one, but like a lesser one who's like around, who they could show doing bad things. Maybe he could be involved in the, overtaking. He could kill, some of the characters that die in this, and then have him. That could have been the fight at the end, which would have been much more impactful and much more meaningful, more satisfying. And you need to have some sort of climax, some sort of resolution. You can't just be like, you can't just end like that because it's not a story. It's the first part of a story, which you could say, well, there's part two, but I mean, there's other examples. One I just talked about, the Lord of the Rings, like the first movie. If you look at it at the face value, you really don't. There's nothing really at the end, the Fellowship of the Rings, at the end of the movie, that there is no real climax or resolution. There's none of that in the first one. There's that in the second one and in the third one for sure. It's not one in the first one, but the reason you feel satisfied because there is one, but it's in a different way. It is it's Boromir's. Am I saying that right? Am I getting the names mixed up? Boromir and Faramir. You know which one. I'm bad with names. I'm sorry. But it's his death, basically. And then his overcoming, him coming to his resolution. It's really about him because we see him through the whole movie. We know he's going to betray Frodo. He struggles. You know what he wants. He wants to take the ring back to Gondor. And we see him fail, and he tries to take it from Frodo and tries to kill him. But then he has the heroic sacrifice of dying, saving, or attempting to save his friends, really holding off and pretty heroically. And then at the very end, he has the exchange with Aragorn, accepting him as the king and being like, you are my king and all that stuff. So there's that resolution. So it feels like there was a climax, something that happened, something satisfying that happened, even though in the grand scheme of the story, nothing really does. Dune didn't have anything like that. Like I said, introducing a villain to die, maybe this guy could have been tracking them the whole time across the desert, and he finally meets up with them at that rock. And then, we could have still had the, people of the planet, like maybe surround them and be like, hey, our rules is this is how you handle disputes, And so they're like, here's your options. You two fight it out to the death till one of you wins, or we kill you both. That way they both would have been incentivized to kill each other because, Charlemagne's, or whatever his name is. I forget them. I don't even know his name in the movie. The main character guy would have had a reason to fight villain because he's part of all the bad things happening to his family. And the villain is, of course, his mission is to kill the main character. So they would have had an intense rivalry, brought on again by this other meeting, and then he could have won the respect of them by showing his prowess in fighting, especially being so young. And that would have been just even saying that, you can see how that would have been a much more satisfying conclusion than just fighting some random guy. And it always feel bad because you're just like, I mean, he was they made him kind of like a douche, but like he was just a dude who had his, I mean, yeah, he agreed to the fight because he thought he was going to win, but like at the same time, it was like, well, that kind of sucks. I don't really know him. Like, he just died. Was that okay? I don't know. We don't know him. We don't know. We have no emotional investment. So that was my problem with Doom. So I'm excited for Doom Part 2 because it was beautiful. And I feel like with Doom Part 2, we'll actually get a completed movie. So, ooh, the color that hasn't come out. Oh, no, this is something else. I was thinking of something else. I was thinking of is it not called the? No, because something with purple in space and had Nicolas Cage in it. That already came out. Ugh, Star Wars. Gosh, stop. I just need to stop. I'll do an episode about TV shows. We'll talk more about Star Wars then. Avatar 3, Avatar 4, Avatar 5. What? Alright, this is gonna make me sad. Can I not go backwards in time? Oh, I'm in coming soon. Okay, in theaters? Alright, let's see. Leave No Trace. Interesting. I saw a movie a while ago that was called Leave No Trace. It was a very interesting, it was like an indie movie about a guy who has like PTSD from being in the war, and he has just him and his daughter, but he can't like live in society because of his mental issues, and so he just lives out in the wilderness. And the story about living out in the wilderness, and his daughter only knows living out in the wilderness as well, like living off nothing. And obviously that's illegal in America because all the land is owned by somebody ridiculously. And so they like go through the system because you know whatever. But it's a really nice story, and eventually like she decides to live in like a good middle ground of society and living out in the wilderness, and he never really gets help, and he just lives out in the wilderness. Very interesting story. It was called Leave No Trace. That's not what this is, but I don't know what this is. I'm Charlie Walker. Don't know. Jurassic World Dominion. I have heard nothing but bad things about this movie. I'm not surprising. I mean, the Jurassic Park movies. Yeah. I mean, they've given some cool things, at least. Like, I saw a post, which I agree with, like, of the second full movie in this, where they had, like I never knew I needed the aesthetic of dinosaurs and like gothic and like with the house at the very end of the movie, and I was like, that is true, that is a sick aesthetic. And I was really I'm still gonna see this movie, but not in theaters. Maybe I was really excited. It's got a 38. I was really excited to see this because I really liked the idea of like an apocalypse. I love, we all love apocalypse movies, but apocalypse movies with dinosaurs, that was pretty new and cool. But I don't think they're gonna obviously from the reviews, I don't think they handled it well. I didn't think they would. I thought it was just gonna be fluff anyways, but I hope it'll be enjoyable fluff, kind of like Thor, the Thor movie. But Ninja Badass, don't know, small town, The Walk. Oh gosh, sorry, my boy jumped on me again. My boy jumped on me, you stinky little tiger. Let's see if those two movies are in here. I doubt, because I don't know if they are in theaters. Those two movies I was talking about at the beginning, which I still don't know the name. I'm kind of sort of looking for them as well this whole time. Dash, never heard of any of these. So I didn't even know this was out. I literally just saw a trailer for that recently. Miracle, no. The Overnight, nope. I wonder if these are not just in theaters, but like on Netflix and stuff like that. Siege, Trauma, Watcher, nope. Haven't heard of any of these. Wolfhound, nope. Wow, this is way more than I thought it was gonna be. More like the other list where like, oh, I've seen that. Oh, but like, am I gonna get through all this without seeing one single one that I recognize, or I've seen even a trailer to. Men. Did a family camp, Firestarter. I don't know. It's been done. If you didn't know, it's been done before. I heard it was 32. Yeah, I heard it was done better before. Homebound. Homeward Bound. I love that movie. Yeah. Wow. I have not. Shark Bait. Around the World in 80 Days with a monkey. You know it's gonna be good. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse. Oh gosh. Again, I already talked about Marvel. It's more of the same thing. Just poor writing, really bad writing. Almost like, which I'll definitely do a show one of these, like about TV shows, like what I'm doing here. Because it's more prevalent, what I'm about to say is more prevalent in their TV shows than it is in their movies, but it's the same, where they're Disney and Marvel, Disney is more interested in the next 3 movies than they are in the current they're more interested in the next 3 projects than they are in the current project that they're doing. And it really shows. Yeah, they're just interested in producing content. They don't really care. It's not, yeah. And Doctor Strange was just that. It's just bad. It's just bad all around. There's nothing good about it. Yeah, it's just a shame. I was really looking for, when I first heard it like years ago, when the concept of like a Marvel movie that's also a horror movie, and I was like, that's awesome. That's a great idea. And then this. And then this happened. Oof. Oofity, oofity, oofity. Panda, go Panda. Oh my gosh. From 1972. Oh, I guess it's everything in theaters, even if it's not a new movie. Interesting. Yeah, the movie theater I go to plays old movies sometimes, and I've been wanting to go to one, but I just haven't had the wherewithal to like look it up, because they're going to play certain old movies on certain days, and so I have to like know beforehand and plan ahead. I just haven't. I'm just lazy. But I would like to see some old movies on like the big screen. That does interest me. No. Yeah, that was crazy. I went through all that, what, 2 or 3 movies? Wild. Oh, Liam Neeson movie. Nope. Will to see. Loser. Bad Guys. I'm really looking for those 2 movies. Come on. Pop up. Now I'm just looking for those 2 movies. That's what I've forgotten all this, because like haven't heard of any of these. Come on, pop up. Fantastic Pizza. Gosh, I did not see this one, but I saw the first installment. Or is it the first? Were there 2? There were 2. I saw the first 2, and yeah, they're just, this is bad writing. J.K. Rowling she can write books. She cannot write screenplays, and there's a big difference. The reason these movies are so bad is because she writes them the way she writes books, and you cannot do that. Because you can waste a lot of time in books with details. You cannot waste time in movies, and this is just a big waste of time. That's basically what it boils down to. Yeah, they're just bad. She should have had someone else write them, but that's what happens when you get big. You know, you forget. You know, you surround yourself with yes men and yes women, and nobody wants to tell you no or tell you what you're doing is bad or not good, and that's the play. The same thing happened with George Lucas, with his he made his first 3 movies that were really good, and then he made the second batch of 3, the prequels, which are a shining light compared to what's coming out. But like, there's like this not famous, but there's a video that I always remember, and it's of him. I don't know if it's after the first episode or the second one, but I think it's the second, maybe it's the first one. Anyways, one of those. He has just watched it, and you could see the depression on his face because he realized how bad it was, and he has no time to change it. And you can see people around him who are still yes men. They're like, no, it's fine. And you could see it on his face. That's because he didn't have the people around him before. There was more people in this, but one of them was George Lucas's wife. God, I wish I could. I need to memorize her name, because she is an all-star editor. Like the first movie, the why it's the best movie, it's because of her. She took his incoherent mess and edited it down so well that it became one of the best movies ever written, ever made. Good editor. She's edited a bunch of things. She's famous in Hollywood. I would forget her name. I think it's worth looking up. I need to memorize. Certain names I try to memorize because they're important. And not George Lucas. Lucas is boy. He stepped on my mouse again. First wife. Yes. That's her. So like she basically like made. She's famous for doing like American Graffiti and things like that. She's a fantastic editor. Really great before her time. Basically like he filmed a lot of stuff for the first movie. The story goes, or not story, how it happened. And it was just a terrible movie. And she's the one who edited down to make like the whole like Death Star scene. And she like, because they had shot everything, so they couldn't go back and reshoot. They didn't have the money, they didn't have the time. So she took everything and edited it down to make it like the whole thing, the whole crux of the movie with the, like, you know, at the very end, the Death Star and the immediate need because it's going to blow up the planet and all that stuff. They had filmed that, but it was not in that sequence that we saw. It was just existed, but she's the one who made it into a real story and edited it so in a way that it would create drama and tension and stakes and all the things you need to make a good narrative. That was her. She did that. Someone messaged me on. I guess I'm not answering my Steam thing. Sorry, my Steam was like, you got a message. Yeah, so she did all that, and yeah, but she wasn't there for when he made the other things, along with some other people that weren't there, and that's why the prequels are. I like them. They're not great, but I like them. I think they got too much worse rap than they deserved. We were a little bit harsh, but I think it was because people were so jarred at the difference in quality from the first three to his prequels. It's because of the people he surrounded himself with. He just, you know, you got really big, surround yourself with yes men. That's what happens. You need people around you who disagree with you. It's helpful. It keeps you on the right path, and it can help you grow. And so, but yeah, she's an all-star. The movie would literally not exist without her, in the capacity that it came out. So, I don't know why I started talking about Star Wars. Oh, Fantastic Beasts. I was talking about, yeah, J.K. Rowling surrounding herself with yes men, and like, how did she get through 3 movies and no one? I think on the third one, there wasn't also a screenwriter, but like, they obviously didn't get enough control. Yeah, someone should have just went up to her and been like, hey, write your story, and then we'll have a screenwriter rewrite it for film. And nobody probably had the cojones to tell her that, because, you know, J.K. Rowling, she's powerful. And it led to horrible movies. You know, the whole thing of who's going to tell the king is naked. Yep. Yeah, that's what happened. A beast, not the beast with the lion, a different beast. They took our name. How dare you? Oh man, Cow. I haven't seen this yet, as I've just been lazy. I saw the first one. 47. Yeah, right. I don't know, but the critics really hate this, but from everything I've heard, it sounds better than the first one. Now, the first one it's I realize that it's sad to say that the best video game movie ever made is a Sonic movie, but it just shows what happens when a studio, a company, a director listens to the fans. Also competent writing. Yeah. The Sonic movie, by far, I can't think of another video game movie that even comes close to the quality the Sonic, which is ridiculous to think about, because Sonic the game, like thinking about what the game entails, and And I heard Sonic 2 is better, and by all measures it seems better. I just haven't had time to watch it. I will watch it relatively soon. But yeah, it's wild. Imagine listening to the fans and hiring competent writers. Imagine. Not in this day and age. Never. No. Can't have that. Can't have that. Everything Everywhere at Once. I haven't seen that yet. I know people, like even friends who don't see movies, my friends saw it and they were like, this is good. So I know it's probably good. I'm gonna see that. Here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll just put Sonic 2 and oh, where'd it go? Oh shoot. Okay. No. 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 Okay. I'll just put Sonic 2 and I'll put that. Yeah, there. So that's not so bad. And these are not out yet, so but these will just be, I'll be on the lookout. Lost City, I heard people said that was funny, but I don't know. It just seems like it seems like a goofy rom-com. Could be funny. I tend to like the rom-coms with Sandra Bullock in them. So could be good. Yeah, I haven't, man, wow. All these movies are in theaters? I think not. I think some of these are just premiering, like on, streaming services. I think that's counting, which is cool. I like that. Jujutsu Kaisen, the movie. I'll definitely do a thing where I talk about anime, so you can get my hot takes then. on the animus and mangoes. You watching the animus and mangoes? The movies that I'm talking about have not popped up, I don't think. And they weren't in the movies coming up, which is weird because I'm pretty sure I've seen trailers for all of them. They do cover sensitive topics, so maybe that's why they're not getting promoted. Shoot, I'm gonna have to look them up myself. Not sure what I'll search. Can't just type the synopsis and hope that it comes up. Yep, that's it. Wow, did I miss it? Alright, I'm gonna go through each one slowly. I know it'll be boring, but just let me do it. Just let me be me. And don't worry about it. Okay. No, boy. He does this thing where he'll just go in circles, like jump on me, hurt me. Jump on me, hurt me. And then step on my keyboard. And like sometimes I'm just like, no, we're not doing this game. We're not playing this game. So he came around, it's like, shoot him away. Okay. Well, the bad guys. That's right. That was that animated one. People said it was okay. I don't know. I may watch it if I'm bored at some point, but I'm not putting it on the list. Yeah, I don't see them. I thought maybe I just missed them because I was going kind of fast. But yeah, I do not see it. Both of them, which is weird. I mean, that means they're just not out. But like, I would have thought that then I would have seen them in the coming soon, and I went pretty deep. I went into next year, so I don't think they're coming out since I saw trailers for both of them. That would be weird. Right? That would be weird. Yeah. Bizarre. What was it called? It's driving me crazy. I can't remember the names of both of them. I think it's called Emergency Movie. Oh, it's a Prime. Oh, so Prime. Oh, they putting Prime movies up. Got some animosity towards Prime. Yeah, this is comedy. Yes, this is the movie I want to see. Okay. I think. Can you hear this? No. Okay. I can't. I'm not gonna play sound because I'll get in trouble. Yes. Okay. Yeah, see. Yeah, see. It's supposed to be like a party movie. You know, shenanigans, lampoonish movie, and then this. So yeah, okay. Emergency. Okay. That's what I want to see. Okay. I don't know what the other one is called. I have no clue what the other one is called, unfortunately. It's called like it has a long title, I think. But yeah, that didn't pop up here. I'm pretty sure. And it's already out. So this list is not complete. I mean, I don't think you're gonna get a better list than this. At least not a list with pictures. You're gonna get like, you know, just words, and that's not. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't read words. I look at pictures. I don't read words. Yeah, I'm just gonna do, because I might as well. What is going on there? What is going on? Okay. Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, I'll just have to wait to see. Oh, Top Gun! I can't believe I mixed that one. Didn't see that, but everyone said it's really good. Everyone says it's actually like a true sequel. So, it's not a movie I would have been interested. I mean, I've obviously seen the original Top Gun, but not since I was like a child. So, which is not a movie you should see as a child. But my parents didn't have good boundaries. So, put that on the list, low on the list. And not because I don't think it'll be good. It's just not a movie that I'm like super excited to see. So I think the first movie was good on its own. But oh, there it is. It was right. That makes me think I probably missed the other one. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna go through it again looking. Well, I just didn't expect this type of movie poster for it, which is probably what I didn't expect for the other movie that I can't remember the name. It is probably in here. I probably just skipped it. It's fine. I'm sure I'll find it again. Oh, it's right here. On the count of 3. That's what it is. Because the count they put guns and they count it. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah, dark, very dark subject. I mean, I think I saw this trailer in the movie theater and they had like a big warning about like, you know, help prevention lines. Call this. This is a very sensitive subject. Yeah, rated R for sure. Do you want to see this? Is this in theaters or is this on someplace? Let me see. But yeah, dark. It starts off pretty dark and then it like, I don't want to play the sound just because I'll get in trouble probably. But yeah, they go through like a whole adventure. As you can see, but it's a comedy. It seems very serious, way serious without the words, but it's a comedy. I mean, it is serious, but it's more funny when you can hear the words. But I highly recommend you look up the trailer yourself. But that's what it's called. I wonder if this is like on Amazon. It's nice that Emergency's on Amazon because I am a Prime member, so I can watch that now. Let's see where this is popping up. Movie. Okay. It's on Prime. Okay. It's another. Is it a Prime film? Who made this? Or is it just an independent movie? Huh. I think it's just an independent movie. Joy Unlimited of Prime? Well, it's on Prime. I know what I'm going to watch. Cool. Okay, cool. I have access to the 2 movies that I really wanted to see. And yeah, I got easy access to them. All right. All right. Okay, why is this flashing? No, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to do. I could do another thing that oh shoot. Oh no. Another thing I often do is, oh, I guess I could have just kept that movie. DVD releases. So a website that pops up that's really good. I hope it's this one. Yes, because this one does by like day. Because sometimes there's movies that I didn't see in theaters, and so like, you know, if they're on here, they're usually on a streaming service somewhere. So like there's more been time. DVD releases. Dang, that released fast. Things release fast because again they're on streaming services. So I often go through here just to see if there's any, because a lot of times there'll be like certain things I'm like, oh, I wanted to see it, and it slipped through the cracks. You know what I mean? So I do like to go through that. I did want to see this. It just looks like Nicolas Cage just makes the most ridiculous movies that are so fun. They're bad, but they are fun. Okay, so I'm gonna make it different. But yeah, this movie's where I believe Nicholas. Yeah. Okay. So it has God, what's his name? He was the Mandalorian. I forget his name. I say that a lot. You gotta get used to it. He's like Nick Cage basically plays a version of himself, and then like the guy who played the Mandalorian is like a huge fan, and it's just like a shenanigans romp of them meeting and crazy things happening, and it's basically like a big poke fun at Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage has not made best decisions, but it's poking fun at that, so it's all good humor, and I like that. So it's probably not going to be a good movie, but it'll definitely be an enjoyable movie. I think. I don't know yet. I haven't seen it. So. And see, like, it does this by month. So this is all the ones that were released. And these are going to be released. These haven't been. Oh, it hasn't been. Okay, so June 21st. Okay. Okay, so that one hasn't. So I'll wait a bit. But yeah, oops, I went forward. I meant to go backwards. But yeah, I'll do this because, like I said, stuff slips through the cracks. Uncharted. Oh my god. Ugh. Such a bad movie. Again, how not to do a video game movie. Oof. You don't need to go into that. I'll wait to talk about that when I talk about anime. I think I'm definitely going to do an anime thing. Oh god, Batman was... Again, it's one of those movies that was like had a lot of good things, but it just had it's not good. I'm afraid it's really close to being good, but the ending is so weak and nonsensical, and you know, characters, like, stuff happens just, you know, for the sake of the plot. They don't really make sense in the story. It's a bummer. It's real close to being good, but like it has too many faults. And I can go into more detail if you're upset about why. But yeah, real close to being good, but not quite there yet. Oh, that's the end. I was trying to scroll down. A lot of movies came out in that time. Did not see the Scream movie. Don't really care. I mean, I haven't watched a Scream movie since the like early 2000s, maybe late 90s, and don't really feel a need to. Spider-Man, that's a good one. I need to definitely add that to my collection. That was just good. Again, it's not without its problems, mostly in the character of Doctor Strange not acting the way you would think someone like Doctor Strange would act, in order to further the holes in the plot. But for the most part, very good. They did something pretty bold that the fans really wanted, and I think they were successful in most parts in the feels and things like that. So overall, I feel it was a really good movie. Not really good, but a good movie. It was a good movie. That was a movie I will add to my collection for sure. So take that. Like I said, I can't remember the last movie I added to my collection. So that will be one of them. Oh god, The Matrix. Ugh, the movie nobody wanted and nobody needed, and it was pointless and bad and terrible, and you know, retroactively ruins. That's the theme of Hollywood, where it's just like you like, I guess like one could say like you can't really ruin them, but you can only not ruin them as long as you ignore these movies that came out, which I can, and most people will, because they're just god awful, just terrible all around. And I mean, it's one thing to write a bad movie and for it to be bad and be like, you know what, hey, you tried, you know, keep going, you'll get better. There's quite another thing to take something and ruin something that's established. I know this one was written by the same writers, but only one of the writers, the Wachowskis, only one of them, I think the other one didn't. One of them wasn't involved. So that could have played a part. Again, checks and balances, you never know the people you surround yourself with, so that could have played into it. Or it could not have, you know, who knows how the reach of the studios. I think, like, even in the movie, they talk about how, like, they, like, shit on the movie in the movie, so they may have been forced with rights. I think now that I remember right, I think that was a big part of it. They may not have wanted to make this movie, the Wachowskis, and they were kind of, their hands were tied behind their back by rights. I think that was something like that. So it's kind of like what's it, the new Predator movie? Oh my gosh, that looks so stupid. And the worst part is, like, the only reason Disney is made by Disney, the only reason why they're doing that movie is because if you don't know, like, you can only have a certain claim on an IP or rights to something for so many years, and once that threshold passes, it's free for anyone to use. There are certain thresholds. There's like a threshold for, like, it going back to the original creators if you hadn't done anything with it. And then there's another threshold where it's just free for everyone. And Disney acquired the licensing for Predator, but the original guys have always wanted it back, who made it. And the date went by, and they sent them a letter to Disney saying, hey, the letter was sent by the copyright being like, hey, if you don't do anything, you're going to lose your rights to it. The time went back, they didn't do anything, so by fair rules, Disney should have lost it. But of course, Disney doesn't play by the rules. They get whatever they want, and so they made a big stink, threw a lot of money at it, and basically changed the laws. And so the original creators didn't get it back, and so Disney, one of the things they got to keep it, even though they shouldn't have because it was against the law. They then had to make something to prove that they were using the IP. And so that's why this movie was shelved. Like, anyone like, why the heck is there a weird Predator movie that's nonsensical? That's why. Because they had to make something in order to solidify their hold on the IP. But the interesting thing is I think Mickey Mouse himself, the time, I think there's like 60 or 70 years or something, where it's just free to use no matter what. Like Pooh Bear recently, you know, there's that horror about Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh. Because yeah, that same thing. The licensing is so old, basically. Your IP gets to a point where anybody can use it. Now there are certain ways if you're I don't super versed on it. I know a little bit, but you can get away with it somewhere, or maybe you can't. No, because they definitely would have kept it. Yeah. Anyways, there is a rule that once you get to a point, it's open to everyone. That's why there's that horror movie that's called Winnie the Pooh, and because they're basically making that movie as a joke and as just a stupid thing, but because the show they can do it. And they legally can. Anyone can use the Winnie the Pooh IP. Because it's free for everyone now. And same thing, Mickey Mouse is coming around the corner. But you know Disney's going to do something. They're going to change. They've changed the laws for them before. They're going to do it again. Probably. But anyways, that's why they're putting out this horrific Predator movie. Is this it? No. What do they even call it? Maybe I should say the new. Yeah, Prey. That's why this movie. That's why I'm definitely not gonna play this trailer, because Disney's. Don't mess with Disney. I mean, they changed laws. Maybe a little too powerful. Maybe. That's why they made this movie, because their hands are tied and they have to do this in order to solidify their hold, even though they should have lawfully lost it, because their whole thing was like, oh, there was like a typo, like he didn't cross a T or an I, and so it doesn't count on the letter that told them that they only had so much time, because you get verified like twice or so like they'll tell you that you're, when things are important dates, they keep track of it and they'll tell you. And they were sent it, didn't do anything, got lost and whatever. Yeah, they should have lost it, should have went back to the creators, but we don't live in a fair world now, do we? But yeah, that's why this horrific pile of garbage is made, because they needed to crank out something. So that's, yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Oh, I like this because they also put out like series too, so like I can see like series. But maybe I won't go through because like I want to do a whole thing on TV shows. Young Rock. Maybe I'll just finish it out. I'll go through January because I don't need to do that. Encanto, it was okay. I do think it was interesting, going with there's no villain in the story, which is interesting. The villain is like an ethereal, if you haven't watched it, it's like emotional trauma. I think it was okay. Some things were a little rushed. I felt like I saw it recently, and so I only watched it once, so I don't have too much. Usually I watch a movie a couple times, even bad movies, just to solidify my opinion on it. Only watched it once. There was kind of, it starts off very exposition-y for no reason, like again doing exposition wrong. And that was one thing I remember. And then I remember, just a lot of stuff being forced. For Eternals, I did not see this. I knew this was going to be terrible. But worst Marvel movie, and that's saying something. Oh my god! Again, I think this was just a victim of the writer. Well, writers being bad. The writer's just bad, but the director, again, not being a bad director, but not being. She was more good for like indie, human stories, more human stories, less of big blockbuster stuff. And that's just how it is. Yeah, that's just how it is. All right, last one, January. There's Dune. Oh, I guess I could add that to my library. I didn't add that yet. Cobra Kai. I haven't watched the third. No, was there 4 seasons? I know I'm behind on 1 season, so whatever season reason came out, that's the one I did watch. Need to catch up on that, but again, we'll talk about shows later. And that's it. I think the one thing I have to do, I don't have to, but I will. I made a thumbnail, which I love my thumbnails. I'm killing it on my thumbnail game. But in my thumbnails, let's see if I can pull it up. Yeah, there that is. Look at these. Look at these thumbnails. I really like getting the use of all because I use these for my other channel, for my other thumbnails. So I just have like a bunch of photos of me in doing different things for whatever video, and I like putting this on. I like the Chonk mouth logo. But anyways, when I'm talking about bad movies, I just knew I was gonna obviously talk about bad movies because there's so many. The majority of the movies nowadays are bad, and so I just looked up random. I literally typed in bad movies, and these photos came up that fit the space, and so I picked them. So there's a rule in YouTube: you can't put things in your thumbnail that aren't part of the video. It's not going to be enforced with me. Nobody really watches, so. But I still want to follow the rules, and I want to talk about these movies because I feel like it'll be a fun way to end it. So, first, let's talk about Raya. That movie. So bad. So many reasons. It's been a while, so I'm trying to, pull back into my head. That movie. Here, let's pull it up on our... Let's pull it up on, there it is. This movie just, one of the many, many bad things about this movie was that it tried to do so many things. It tried to be so many different movies that it ended up being none of them, which could be a problem. Simple is better. Simple is way better. Yeah, simple is always better. If you can do simple good, it's better than going over the top. You can do over the top, but you got to be able to do the basics good. And clearly could not do the basics. That was one of the biggest things. A lot of other things is just the nonsensical storyline. Didn't really make a lot of sense. They try to have emotional depth to things, but they really didn't put in the work to deserve it. Also, I don't know who this movie's for, is the weirdest thing. Because it's some of the dialogue and scenes are you get clear instances that oh, this is made for young children, 5-year-olds to 8-year-olds, like that type of age range. But then there's like really dark, intense, like whoever did this was a fan of like obviously some old kung fu movies and how they shot things and stuff like that. And so like there was some intense scenes. I'm like, okay, so it's not for children. Yeah, it's just a big mess. That's the one. I think the best way I can describe this movie is just one gigantic mess filled with plot holes, nonsensical storylines that are broken and fractured, that don't make any sense. And yeah, it just really wasn't there. It had no real heart. It tried, but it didn't earn them. So they just feel hollow and pointless. Very pretty. But I feel like saying like, oh, it looked pretty, that's kind of like a bare minimum. Especially nowadays with our technological prowess, if you will. But yeah, not much to say about this movie. It's just bad. But what I really want to talk about is I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys do. But if you don't know what this horrifying creature is, let me regale you on the tales of Mac and Me. I want to say mac and cheese. Mac and Me. That's what this movie is called. And if you don't know, let me just prepare yourself for nightmare fuel, by the way. I'm sure by looking at that you could tell. This makes me want to watch Mac and Me, actually. So Mac and Me was this movie made back in a time where you could make TV shows and movies just to promote a product. It's against the law now, especially for targeting children in TV. There's the law against that. That's why you don't have things like Street Sharks and things like that, which I can talk about when I do TV series. But of course, obviously, as we've seen, those rules don't apply to the internet yet, or maybe they never will. So you have, especially like YouTubers targeting children by putting their ads and not saying that they're ads. There's like rules. There's a lot of rules. There's like rules. You can't have a like cartoon character or like a childlike character, like a puppet or even a child, in your thing within a certain amount of time of you promoting a product. That's a rule. Again, you have to have one of the rules. You have to have a clear, concrete, unequivocal distinction between the show or whatever and your ad, which obviously if you've been anywhere like on TikTok or anywhere in the social media, they don't do that on purpose because it works. That's what they did back then. They did this. Anyways, this movie is one of those movies. I believe it's McDonald's, hence Mac, like Big Mac. Yeah, basically McDonald's decided they wanted to make an ET. Obviously, look at the cover here. ET reference, aliens. With the success of ET, they wanted to bring the success, but they wanted to promote McDonald's. I believe they go to McDonald's a lot. McDonald's is all in this movie. Big Mac, obviously wanted to be ET. It is god awful. I mean, look at this. Look at this. What are we doing? We truly live in a society. But there's so many good clips. Oh my gosh, there's so many good clips. Let's just... Oh, this is the best clip. God, it's 2 minutes. Ooh. Okay, we'll play a little bit of it. If I get in trouble for this, I'm gonna be upset. Okay, let me putting your sound on. This is one of the classic clips. It's just, I like this. There's like a funny clip with I think it's this clip become even more famous. Like, Paul Rudd always shows this clip because he like when he's in movies he goes to like late night talk shows. I think it's the Conan O'Brien show. It's been around for forever. And every time Paul Rudd goes and he's supposed to show a clip of the movies promoting, he shows this clip every single time. So there's like a long history of like decades of him doing that, and it's just hilarious. He's like, every time he's like, you're not going to show that clip again. And it's the same clip. It's so good. There's a ton of clips. I need to start incorporating these into my into my clips because they're just, I mean, they're nightmare fuel for sure. 100% nightmare fuel, but they're so freaking funny. Look at this nonsense. Again, tried to do an ET, didn't have good writers. And it was all to promote Big Macs. But anyways, that's, I think this movie is on like the worst movie, like is the worst movie. Worst movie. No, I don't want to do 20. I hate that I have to do that every time. Like, we'll automatically put. I think it's on, is it on Rotten Tomatoes or is it IMDb? Worst movies of all time. I thought it was number 1. Worst movie. Maybe it was Rotten Tomatoes. Pretty sure it was on the list. Maybe it's not anymore. It could be nowadays. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, no. It's number 100. Okay, it's not number 1. It's number 100. The 7%. It's got 7% better than that. Mac, I mean, look at they used it. Yeah, you gotta look at this. I mean, it's like, gets to the point where it's like so ugly. You're like, I don't think it's cute, but you're like, I strangely want to keep looking at it. You know what I mean? That's Mac and me. That's the reason for this. That's a good thumbnail. I like the work I do. I like the work I do here, but any hoozles, let's pop back over. Ooh, my door open. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me tonight. Yeah, thanks for watching. Anybody who popped in, who was lurking, again, I have not set up a thing to see how many people are watching. I have no idea who popped in or not, but if you did, thanks for watching. I love a good lurker. Always happy to see that. And if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Hitting that subscribe button not only makes you part of the Chonk family, but it gives you endless benefits. And if they exist, we just don't talk about them. Shh, they're a secret. Keep them to yourself. And if you like my content, which I assume you do since you're still here, you'll definitely like my stuff on my main channel, like I mentioned earlier, Chonky PuFFs. There will eventually be a link. It usually takes a day for them to processing for them to allow me to put it on there, but there will be a link to my Chonky PuFFs channel. Check it out. I put a video out every Friday, so I'll put a video out this week. It's going to be on, I think, the Kenobi? Yeah, Kenobi. The Kenobi show. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so check it out. Subscribe. Do all the good stuff. I stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then usually every day on the weekend, but I leave it up for random. So come check me out. Come do these chonk mouths. I do video games. Check it out. It's all good. I'm gonna go to bed. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you someplace else.